Only 2 days remain in the story until the U20 World Cup kicks off, and in today's chapter leaks, we're going into a post-training time skip. Plus, there's a chance we'll see some familiar faces return, which is just absolutely crazy. What's up everyone, I'm Animasu, and in this video, we'll be breaking down the Blue Lock chapter 311 leaks titled Side B. Due to copyright restrictions, I can't share the panels here, but if you want to follow along, you can find them on my Discord linked below. If you want to stay up to date with everything Blue Lock related or just support the channel, hit that subscribe button and drop all your video ideas in the comments. I hope you enjoyed today's leaks, and as always, the official chapter drops tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Today's leaks once again open with an outside view of the Blue Lock facility, as it's revealed that only one day remains until the U20 World Cup. The intro text says that with the final preparations wrapping up, the players are sharpening their egos in order to win. As Raichi sprints up the field screaming for a counter, Yohiri makes a pass while Yukimiya and Nanase fall back to defend 2-on-1. As we flip to the next page, we see Hiyori's cross land perfectly at the feet of Isagi Yoichi, who with Nico closing in from behind, volleys it straight into the top right corner past Fukaku Gen. Batsura and Shigure both cheer him on as he scores in training, and honestly, I'm just glad we got to see even a small glimpse of this training. It's a really cool change of pace to see everyone back together again outside of an intense environment, but it seems that this sadly won't last long. Even after scoring a goal like that in training, Isagi is slouched over, catching his breath and already thinking about what he could have done better. As he walks up to Hiyori, he tells him the tempo was just slightly too slow and needs to be faster. Apparently the cross came a little too early, and at the world class level, that would have been easily blocked by the threats they're about to face. Hiyori says that he understands, but tries to explain that you can't just magically adapt or perfect something instantly. Even KARASU chimes in to defend him, saying Isagi is asking for too much and coming off way too stiff right now before their first match. Isagi takes immediate offense to KARASU's dismissal and stands up straight, staring him down and asks if their goal isn't to win. He tells him not to call people stiff or say dumb things like that just because someone has an ideal they're striving towards. Yohiri steps in and says that maybe KARASU has a point since Isagi tends to view things from a very straightforward perspective, but KARASU defends himself, saying he wasn't trying to be harsh at all. KARASU says he's just sharing his opinion normally, but Isagi fires back, asking if he can't say it in a more decent way. KARASU snaps in return, telling him not to act like they're playing half-assed if he doesn't want to be called out. This frustrates Isagi enough that he clenches his fist and bares his teeth while stepping forward, and KARASU does the same, both of them clearly angry with one another. Luckily, Oliver Aiku steps in and pushes them aside, telling them to keep their passion burning but not to take it out on one another since they need to communicate coolly and calmly. Yohiri can't believe the two were actually about to fight, but by then they're already over it and apologizing to one another. Itoshi Rin, meanwhile, with his hand over his mouth, stokes the fire more by talking trash. He tells Isagi not to get cocky so soon, as he's already acting like he's the ace of the team, demanding that everything go exactly the way he wants. It seems like Kanashiro's warning about Isagi acting differently in the future might already be coming true, because this ego and drive to be the best could start separating him from reality and his closeness with the other Blue Lockers. Itoshi Rin keeps pushing, telling him to calm that ego until he actually wins at all, calling him the Demon King once more, this time just a pretentious one. Then Baratsuda barges in, apologizing for disturbing his moneymakers, which causes Nico and Aryu to just stare back at the Burger King completely confused. Surprisingly, it's actually Batsura who recognizes him as the chairman of the JFU, while Ego leans against the wall watching the training session. He asks what the hell Baratsuda's doing here, because he apparently told him to never step foot onto the Blue Lock grounds. Baratsuda just waves his hand and says he has no intention of interfering, he's only here to make a quick greeting and nothing more. But with a cheeky smirk, he casually drops the real reason he showed up, saying he just thought it would be better to let them know about the deal they made. According to him, knowing about it would boost their motivation too, when in reality we know it's just rage bait. He's referring of course to the Baratsuda 3 deal where he secured ownership of the Team 3 slots of the U20 squad. Spreading his arms out wide with a twisted grin, Baratsuda announces to the Blue Lock players mid-training that the maximum number of players for the U20 World Cup isn't 23, but actually 26. He tells them that the remaining 3 slots are his players to determine, and to cause bar confusion for everyone, he declares that one of those spots already belongs to Japan's new Gen 11, Itoshi Sai. Kagamaru, Nanase, and Fukaku Gen are all shown completely overwhelmed and confused by the announcement. Meanwhile, Itoshi Rin, this man looks like he's about to crash the fuck out just thinking about the fact that his brother will be playing alongside him. Baratsuda, still loving the spotlight, explains that due to Sai's own request, he'll only be joining them for the knockout stage, and as for the other 2 remaining slots, they've already been decided, or I guess will be decided. As Baratsuda turns his iPad to face the players, he proudly announces the reveal of Blue Lock Japan Side B, the final 2. Apparently Side B is basically Blue Lock's sister location or some shit like that. Baratsuda declares that the final 2 spots will be filled through the survival selection. In this new project, they'll gather around 300 more players for a brand new version of Blue Lock. The whole thing will be recorded, broadcasted on Blue Lock TV, edited like a reality show, and used to fire up public hype leading into the World Cup. Atoya immediately calls it out for what it is, saying it's basically just a ripoff. Kyoto Jin adds that it looks like it's full of idiots just like the original Blue Lock, while Bachara, of course, finds that completely fitting and laughs, saying it's exactly what he expected. Baratsuda proudly declares that he handpicked the participants himself, and with a dramatic swipe, we see the selected members. As the Blue Lock players make fun of this off-brand program and glance at the iPad, nothing really stands out, until one name and face appear. It's literally Kira, bro. The moment Isagi sees him again, he's visibly shocked, and I want to cry all over again. Why in the hell did we have to bring this man back, or even the possibility of his return? Baratsuda announces that the two representatives of Blue Lock are planning to turn the finals into a massive media event to broadcast worldwide. In other words, the idea is to stream the finals as a global headline, tying it together with the combined tournament to create one massive spectacle. As he spins the iPad with a twisted grin and eerie aura in his eyes, the mood shifts. With a blacked out text box, Baratsuda declares that no matter what happens, even if they die, Blue Lock must make it into the finals. Everyone just stands frozen, staring at Baratsuda with a mix of confusion, shock, and straight up disbelief as he throws his arms out like he just dropped the most inspiring announcement of their lives. With the same twisted grin, he casually walks out, calling over his shoulder that it's good luck and make big money. As the chaos settles down, Isagi turns to Ego, clearly shaken, and asks if he's seriously planning to go through with this. He wants to know what's going to happen to Blue Lock and whether all of this is really the future they've been fighting for. Ego stands tall and composed and tells Isagi not to worry about foolish emotions or other people's futures. The chairman only cares about gambling, and he's simply using that obsession to make them stronger. But Isagi isn't convinced. He brings up the original rule, the one they all agreed to when they first entered Blue Lock, that anyone who loses can never be a part of Japan's national team again. He asks what happens if Kira comes back, and Ego does not flinch. He calmly responds that he won't use him, which, oh my lord, I feel nothing but joy now. I apologize for ever doubting you, Ego, but this does bring up one plot hole. Will Nagi seishiro be used in that case? How long will the second Blue Lock go on for, and will he make it in time for the finals? Ishida Ryuze stands there with his sexy ass. Ego tells Isagi that whether or not to use the new players isn't Baratsuda's call, but his own. He warns that if some unexpected troublemaker shows up, the team won't get to choose whether they stay or go though. Isagi asks if that means even Baratsuda's picks are part of the Blue Lock system, and Ego explains that while yes, it's outside of the plan and just some trash floating around, it's still at his disposal. He reminds him that if they can't win the U20 World Cup, none of it will matter anyways. As a ghostly aura of Baratsuda seems to wrap around Ego, he continues saying that he'll be expelled from Blue Lock too, and his job if they lose. He admits his position isn't really all that different from theirs, but no matter what happens, he won't change his philosophy nor his ways. As Ego says this firmly, his aura radiates with intensity. Itoshi and Ishida Ryuze stand proudly at attention. Ego declares that to create the world's best striker, he'll risk everything to make Japan win the World Cup. Until this ego comes to life, Blue Lock won't be handed over to anyone, not even Baratsuda's greedy ass. As Isagi Yoichi smiles wide at what Ego just said, he continues on, announcing that he will reveal the regular lineup for their first match against Nigeria. The scene then shifts to an overhead view of the Blue Lock facility stadium as it's all lit up and prepared for the first match of the U20 World Cup. We then see the inside of the stadium and the surrounding area with posters of Isagi, Itoshi Rin, and Shida Ryuze displayed everywhere. Women, children, and families stroll around wearing Blue Lock jerseys with the players' numbers on the back, and at the end of the page, a pair of feet begin to walk forward, and who else could it be? Nagi seishiro walks into the Blue Lock facility alongside the fans with only 2 hours left until the opening of the U20 World Cup. His face and eyes are locked in, and the outro text reads, "Just a little longer until it begins. What will this mysterious silence lead to?" With that, today's chapter comes to an end, and we'll pick back up as usual next week with Blue Lock chapter 312 titled Towards the U20 World Cup. I'm guessing the kickoff for the Nigeria match will happen towards the end of next chapter, so of course we'll get to see the regular lineup. Nagi probably won't play in the next few matches since Ego is standing firm on his decisions and Blue Lock 2 and all, but I'm really curious how that will all play out. Whatever the case may be, make sure to drop your thoughts in the comments as I always love hearing what y'all think. That's gonna wrap up today's video, and I just want to say a huge thanks to everyone who stuck around this far. If you want to keep up with all things Blue Lock and support the channel, make sure you're subscribed and drop a comment down below as that really helps me out. I've also got a community Discord linked in the description where you can chat with me and other fans of the series, so feel free to stop by and say hello. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll catch you in the next video shortly.